When most people think about economics and economists, they think about macroeconomics and someone like laureate speaking on the radio. That's not wrong, but it's only part of the story. Economists study almost everything else, and their thoughts on how the world works reaches us through specific fields like behavioural economics and popular books like the Freakonomics series or Tim Harford's Undercover Economist series. Years ago, Tim used to have an advice column in the Financial Times, and people would write and ask an economist's advice. One example is someone who wanted to impress their boss to get a raise. The question was, should he be the first one in the office or the last one to leave? The answer lies in the works of the Nobel laureate William Vickery. The competition of arriving first or leaving last is a form of an auction, and the bids are effort, not cash, that the winner has to pay. Such auctions raise the same expected revenue. Both the first in and last out will be equally profitable for the boss and equally costly for the worker. Yet there are some practical considerations. Being first in the office is risky because the winner takes all. If you get in at 6:30 but someone else is there at 6:15, you might as well have pitched up at 9. There are no prizes for second place. Being last out of the office is more predictable. You can just wait until everyone else is gone and barely leave a second longer. However, once your colleagues realize there's a competition for a raise, you might all end up staying at the office quite late. Tim suggested that the competition will become easier as the year draws on and your rivals use up their reserves of energy and the patience of their husband or wife. The economist's way of thinking can also be applied to who pays the bill at a dinner with a group of friends. One reader asked if it makes sense to have a system of tour accounting, the basis of which is that they never really bother who pays the bill because as they plan to remain friends for a lifetime, it'll all work out in the long run. Tim answered that it's an excellent plan to save on transaction costs. More specifically, the time spent on figuring out who has to pay for what and tapping multiple cards. Second, each time that a person picks up the bill, she is sending a signal that she expects the friendship to last long enough to be paid back. Thus, dinner becomes an endless sequence of credible signals of friendship. The potential problem is new friends joining the group who might turn out to be free riders. The economist answer is to require a substantial deposit when someone joins the group. Economics is about much more than economic growth and inflation. It answers the questions of life. Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Economics Weekly with me, Waldo Krugell. Drop a comment or a question below and join me again for next week's episode as we look at news that makes our economy tick.